Everybody, welcome to my channel, Be Free Now with Maria. Today I want to talk about building self-trust on a soul level foundation. Often we struggle to trust ourselves because of the shame and guilt that we carry. In other words, we know that we haven't, been the nicest, the most honest. We haven't been the gentlest, and so forth. And we judge ourselves because of that, right? That every time we know that we're not really walking with the light, we judge ourselves. We judge our character and we judge our self-worth. And it's almost like we need to be perfect in order to be able to trust ourselves. But perfection is not the goal, and it's not really possible. So what ends up happening is we're left spinning our wheels. So what we want to do, right? We want to start learning how to forgive ourselves for what we think we could have done better. And we also want to see our spirit side. In other words, we want to create an awareness of both, right? We know that, yes, we weren't our best self in this particular moment, but we want to forgive ourselves so that we are able to move on and not beat ourselves up over it. And then we want to be able to go back, right? Turn back to the light. In other words, to go back to that space where we feel we're more connected with the divine and doing things that feel more in alignment with our spirit side, right? So that we feel lighter in mood, because if we're more aligned with our spirit side, we're not feeling that heaviness and that guilt. So we want to learn to create a balance between these two parts, not trash a part of us. And every time we see ourselves going towards, not the best side of us, we want to just be able to make a U-turn. And through that process, right, we need to be gentler with ourselves, because if we're not gentle with ourselves and we trash that part of ourselves, we're going to feel really yucky inside, and it's going to be hard for us to be able to get ourselves back up because we're not feeling good. So we want to be able to create a better feeling within ourselves, but in order to be able to do that, we have to let go of this need to be perfect in order to be worthy. It's not going to work. So we want to let go of that need to be perfect, and the best way to do that is to start working on self-forgiveness. In other words, I forgive myself and I love myself anyway. That is my human side, and know that, recognize it, and you can work more on that, but accept that for what that is in that particular moment, and affirm to yourself, I forgive myself, I forgive myself. And say it as many times as you need to until you start to feel like, okay, I'm okay, right? I'm not perfect, and that wasn't my best self, but I'm okay. And this allows then you the opportunity to be able to work more on that. In other words, if you want to spend some time understanding, right, why does this part of me keep on showing up? Then you're able to do that as well. But first, we have to be able to recognize that perfection is not the way, and we want to be gentle with ourselves as best as we can in a particular moment to keep ourselves up enough to be able to function, right? And to show up with a better mood, because the more we beat ourselves up, the yuckier we feel, and the lower our mood. The more we are gentler with ourselves, the better we are able to support ourselves through more improvements, and more changes. In other words, it gives us the energy to be able to continue to discover more about ourselves when we are being gentler with ourselves. So this is the direction, right, that we want to take a look at. And we want to be able to make a U-turn as often as possible and to realign with our spirit side, so that both these parts are being acknowledged, and we allow then spirit to lead us. In other words, we want to train ourselves, we want to start practicing letting spirit lead us. But we also have to factor in our human side, right? We can't just trash that part of us. We're here in these bodies, and the human experience, right, is part of the journey. So we don't trash it, but we learn to not let it lead us, or to beat ourselves up with our own inner verbal attacks and lower our mood to the points where we're just kind of like stuck and frozen because we're feeling so heavy inside. So I wanted to share that with you, but before I end, I do want to pick a word from my bag of words to see what else I'm inspired to share. Oh, unity. Oh, I love that, because it's so perfect to what I'm talking about, right? The unity between parts. Instead of trashing a part of ourselves, incorporating it, right? Acknowledging that it's there and being gentler with ourselves, and creating that unity between our human side and our spirit side. But like I said, always letting spirit lead, because it's going to lead us to a place of peace.